ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It has come down to the final race of this season. It was round 12 of the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League from Zandvoort. I'm James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Tom Cairns here this evening. Let's show you the points and let you know the situation. This is with both drop weeks added going into the final round. Lee Aberdeen is out in front. He's on 382 points. The battle for second and third is between Brent Ruiz, Luca Varani, Ludovic Rancon, Antonio Jimenez, and Simon Fessi. That somebody out of them five will be on the podium for the 1, 2, 3. It's going to be very, very interesting here as well. Lee Aberdeen at the moment sitting second in qualifying. Tony Jimenez sitting on pole position. We have just come into the end of it here, all towards the end of this pole position, but you can see the 336 to 346, that's where it's all going to come from. And obviously with the point system going down in ones, well, they've got to be a long way ahead of Brent Ruiz to basically be able to make this work on this time around. It's going to be very, very interesting. Jimenez first in quali. Aberdeen, Ruiz, Rancon, Flynn are your top five currently at the moment. So look out for this one. It's going to be an absolutely barnstormer. And let's face it, everybody loves Zandvoort, right? Well, let's find out from Tom Cairns. Tom, welcome in, bud.
Hello, James. Hello to everyone. Yes, we are situated around the Amsterdam coast of Zandvoort, located at the beach, which is quite phenomenal to see. Of course, it's the current host of the Dutch Grand Prix, which will be until next year. 2026 will be the last time for a while that Formula 1 attends this. But in regards to being a circuit itself, what do you make of this circuit, James, given the undulation of this course, going all the way from Tarzan around to where the Ari Lyondike corner, where its most recent banking is situated?
I don't really mind it. I'm not overly critical of it. I think it's a decent circuit. Is it in my top five? No. But I think these guys will get on well. And here is the grid for the final race of the season. Tony Jimenez in first, Lee Aberdeen second, then Brent Ruiz third, Ludovic Rancon in fourth, Andy Flint, Yunis Amal, Jonathan Cazorla, Simon Fessi, Alexis de Klerk, Bayardin Ayan, Denny Cornu, and Stefan Dodora round out the top 12. Then we've got Clark Williams, Robert Ridgway, Mehmet Taski, Loris Biela, Richard Van Veen, Patrick Williams, Ben Goyet, Stefano Fanazzi, Eddie Amos, and Stu Milne round out to 22. Then Adam Townsman, Ian Nat in 23rd, and then Guy in 24th. Then Matthew Gracie, Austin Baldwin, Nick Carty, Lotoro Marini, Robert Joe, Oscar Artinanu, Patrick Rowland, Sean Pulsifer, Chris Valles, Noah Flugie, and Dorian Rougeau. There was no times from Flugie or Rougeau, so we'll have to see if they make it on to the grid. Purple zone. It's a long purple zone this week, ladies and gentlemen. It goes all the way round to turns number 8 here as well. You come out of Shevlat, you go around Marlborough, and it is there on the bottom right-hand corner. So if you're looking at the track map, it is the right-hand corner closest to the edge of the screen before it dips in. That is where the purple zone will be this week. What does that mean? It's no active overtaking. That's theoretically the philosophy, but I'm sure it will be up for debate. Drivers on the grid. We've only got 2 more to go. Clark Williams and Robert Ridgway left here. Are they going to get on as well? Robert sent me a new livery right before the start and was like, James, can you get this in for me? So he's sporting a new livery this week, as we'll find out if Clark Williams gets on the grid. He isn't going to make it. We've got 5 lights. The final race of the season, ladies and gentlemen, is green, green, green. As we go down into turn 1, Tony Jimenez, Lee Aberdeen, Brent Ruiz, Ludovic Rancon, and Andy Flynn all in the top 5 as they were at the moment. No gamers and losers. Taski's up 2, which is a little bit surprising. Valles is up 4. Show is falsified, but that's because Oscar Artinanu and Latoro Marini are in pit lane. So they're in pit lane at the moment. So we'll have to see what they got themselves up to. But it does look like they've had a little bit of drama. But at the moment, Tony Jimenez leads the way down through Shevlack turn 7 into turn 8, number 8. and this is where we are now. Green, Tom. Jimenez got away at the start, done an absolute flyer.
Yeah, the man who has yet to win a race this season, Tommy Jimenez, getting off to a super start ahead of Lee Aberdeen, with Broken Ruiz not too far behind, looking to cement second place in the Drivers' Championship after Lee Aberdeen effectively sealed it last week at the Red Bull Ring. So Jimenez is pulling away. I would imagine we'll get a replay of what happened at the start, Jason. We did have a staller and someone ran into the back of that stationary vehicle.
Yeah, I think it might be Marino. We're going to have to try and give you a bit of a better view, because there was a couple of people who had some drama. Oh, there we go. There it is.
I think he jumped the start, did Marini, actually, before the lights went out, hence why he ran into the stationary vehicle in front, and it was just a concertina from there.
Yeah, and then goes and crashes into the wall. I'm going to have to try and get this back this way for a minute, and then I'm going to do something really, really quickly. But Tony Jimenez out in front, leading the way currently, doing a great job here in the front into the banked turn number 3 for the second time. And at the moment, Jimenez still leading the way.
Yeah, good job there from Jimenez, but you've got Aberdeen looming in behind very, very quickly, and Ruiz will be catching up to these two. Zandvoort is not normally an overtaking circuit. The best place to get the job done is down towards Tarzan, turn 1, that is. So we should expect maybe to see some overtaking later on, but I would imagine for now the drivers are just looking to settle into the race. They don't want to take too many risks too soon, but you can just see they're all line astern at the moment, just waiting for the timing page to update it. So we can just see Ruiz running wide there on the exit of turn 10, picking up some gravel which will go onto the circuit, which won't help the others, but he did very well to just take his foot off the throttle for the time being and allow the car to roll, and then he's out on his way. But he has lost ground crucially to Lee Aberdeen ahead.
Yeah, the timing tower will correct itself. We did have to restart it due to an issue with it, but it's got Oscar Artinano out in front by 2:41. I'm hoping it will start correcting itself either this lap or the next lap. But Tony Jimenez really effectively leading the way. There you go. It's jumping up now. Lee Aberdeen going into second. Brent Ruiz in third, all at the same time. The scoring system has Ruiz be ahead of Jimenez, and he needs to be a long way ahead of Tony Jimenez. Ruiz needs an absolute rotten race to lose that second place, so it's going to be interesting to find out what goes on. It looks like Van Veen's in pit lane, Adam Townsmer is in pit lane, all looking like they had their own issues. Stefan Dodderer jumped back to pit lane all at the same time. There's lots been going on throughout this race, and there's still more happening. Danny Cornu, Bayard and Alexis de Klerk. Jonathan Cazorla is the only one to move a place, who has lost a place with inside the top 11 here, Tom. Not many places swapped over, but Simon Vesey was one of them who made his move past de Klerk.
Yeah, very, very good indeed. So you've got de Klerk, who dominated the race at the Red Bull Ring, more or less. He's running in 9th place ahead of Ayan, who put in a super drive in the top 10 towards where he finished. And looking further down the order, it's got Altanano in the pits, Marini, Williams, Dodderer, Arroyo didn't get going, Flugie and Williams didn't get going either. So we did have a few casualties at the beginning, but Richard Van Veen, the home hero, had to come into the pits at the end of the last lap. He was running around about the top 15 before he ducked in, so that's left him with a lot of work too, perhaps too much work for other drivers like him. I wonder if he may have had to serve a drive-through, James, because he wasn't in the pits for so long. I wonder if he came together with someone and had to serve some form of punishment. Yeah,
a little bit around Con, trying to clear Brent Ruiz. Luca Verani is also not here, so he will not score any points. He will have a 0 point. His point score is not going to change. So at the moment, Rancon, Jimenez and Fessi have all got an opportunity of overtaking Luca Verani. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how that one goes here, and see what works out. But at the moment, Luca Verani not here, doesn't look like he's going to be here, and unfortunately for him, he's not going to score any points.
See how the race cracks on then with these drivers towards the front. Ranson through on Ruiz at the beginning of the lap into 3rd place. Behind Ruiz is his compatriot Andy Flint, who has not made up any positions, neither has he lost any, but he's looking to just end his season with a crash-free race. It feels like Andy Flint has been one of those who's been involved in someone else's incidents on a handful of occasions, hoping that he doesn't get involved in something like that in this one. Yeah. Who is cracking on is Andy Flint, and he's going after Ruiz for 4th place despite putting a wheel in the gravel.
Yeah, there he is. He's dropped back just a little bit more into the clutches of Eunice Amal than he is with Simon Fessi, Jonathan Cazorla. Scott de Klerk and Beard and Ayan tucked him right behind. And then we got another battle further back as Denny Corn, who's joining on to the back end of this. There's a lot of people who seem to be going in and out of pit lane at the moment. Robert Joe's made a problem for himself here. He's had a moment as Robert Joe. And unfortunately for him, it looks like he has put him back further. Oh, dude, too fast. Way too quick.
Too clumsy as well, because he took out the car ahead of him. I don't know who it was that he collided with, but that was a really clumsy mistake there by Robert Joe, and that has inflicted his and the drivers ahead.
Yeah, Cazorla is under attack from Declare. Declare going to look, going through 7, coming into 8. What happened to Patrick Williams? Well, I think he got caught up right at the beginning there, so unfortunately due to having to reset the timing tower, I can't actually show you everything that went on, but it does look like Williams got himself caught up. I would have to try and do some fancy trickery. Let me see if I could just do that and see if we can show you what he did. There might be a few people going backwards for a minute. Ah, there we go. That is what happened to Robert Williams. Oh, big old crash. That was with Donnerer, wasn't it?
It looks like it. We'll have a look to see. I don't know if you can toggle along drivers during replays, James.
Yeah, it was Stefan Donnerer.
Yeah, I think that move was never going to work for Patrick Williams there up the inside, and Dodderer had every right to turn in on him there because Williams was nowhere near. He was not entitled to take that line by any means.
Yeah. Unfortunately for them, let's put them both out. Jimenez still under attack from Aberdeen. Rancon clearing Brent Ruiz, but it does say that Rancon is going to have to be at least 6 to 8 places ahead of Ruiz. Ruiz knows where he's got to be to claim that second place, but Rancon will jump Luca Barani as it stands. So will Jimenez. Jimenez is lost the place there. Oh, he's off!
Yeah, there's contact between him and Lee Aberdeen. There was side-by-side coming out of 4, 5, and 6, and Jimenez has paid the price for it.
Oh, Tony Jimenez.
I think the front suspension is broken as well, James.
Oh, massive dose of internet. Huge. And now for Tony Jimenez, he's all the way down in 17. He's looking like his second and third. He's gone out the window. His front right is busted. You can see it there as well.
He's done.
He's done. He's back in pit lane, Tony Jimenez. So unfortunately for him, it's well, it's another season that's not come to the podium there. He qualified 16th. Sad to see. It was sad to see for Williams, but unfortunately he made that drama. But now Brent Ruiz sitting in second place, Aberdeen sitting in third, and Rancon sitting in Aberdeen first, Ruiz second, Rancon third. That will be, if they stay where they are, will be the final podium position places.
No, it's a good job that Lee Aberdeen has wrapped up the championship last week, because if he hadn't, I can imagine he's going to be under investigation for the contact with Jimenez, given that where Brent Ruiz is in the order. Because if he ends up winning this race because of that penalty, potentially of Aberdeen, if he is at fault for the incident, that could have thrown another spanner into the mix. But thankfully, Aberdeen does have that buffer.
Okay, watch the gap. There's a massive dose of internet between them.
I thought the contact was avoidable, James, if I'm honest with you.
I'm not saying there might not have been contact in the first place, but unfortunately there was about a foot gap between the two of them before Tony Jimenez started spinning. Alexis de Klerk looks like he's got to slow down. He's just lost a couple of places. Nick Carty's jumped back to pit lane already, but Brent Ruiz at the moment with Rancon sitting in third place. Then behind him is Andy Flynn and Eunice Amal in there, all battling away. And then this group goes down to Denny Corner, which is at the back there. There is Denny behind Baden Ayan as he continues to fight at the same time. A lot of people being in pit lane. Townsma, Van Veen and Guyan, Patrick Williams, Jimenez is there, Nick Carty, Stefan Dodderer, Clark Williams. So Patrick and Clark have both been in pit lane on that one. Saying that Clark didn't actually take to the start, neither did Oruro, and neither did Noah Flugie. So there we go. Oh, Ayan's gone round as well.
Yeah, de Klerk's come into the pits, James, so we may be able to find out what happened involved in it. I know you said he could be in a slowdown, but I think there was more than just that. This is Ayan up the inside into turn 1. And yeah, that move was not going to work, unfortunately, there for Ayan. And he's down the order there to P11 now, behind Loris Baylor. And now Amal almost losing it through turn number 7. It almost like he had a kick of oversteer when he went through the apex, but thankfully he gathered it all up very, very quickly.
Natalie Paul, he logged, he's angry. Who are we talking about, Natalie? Are we talking about Tony Jimenez or are we talking about somebody else? Let us know who that you are mentioning, and we'll see who you're talking about here at the same time. But on board with Simon Fessy now, round the left-hander. There you go, on their way down to the penultimate last corner. Got to look, get it in, take a little bit of the curb, let it run on the outside. There we go. Now through that high banking, NASCAR-esque banking, down the run into turn number 1. Is this going to be a move? It does look like a bit of a draft train we got happening though there, Tom, with Fessy, Amal, Flint, all drafting off each other.
Yes, indeed. And Fessy, after his sterling performance last week at the Red Bull Ring, he's all over the back of Yunus Amal. So there's going to be pride at stake between those two. I would imagine they are teammates after all. So they're heading up the hill out of Hugenholtz and towards turns 4, 5 and 6. Don't even think about trying an overtake there, Simon. You won't do it, and it will end disastrously. 6 backs for the time being, and just follows Amal through. And Lee Aberdeen is stretching his margin to just a second on Brent Ruiz, with Ludwig Svensson looking to end his season on a high. There's a car who was just making an back marker, isn't it? Yeah, so that back marker is just staying out of the way of the leaders coming through, should not intervene with anything between these guys, and so he wisely stays out of the way. We're looking at Dennis Cornu in 8th position behind Jonathan Casola. Behind Cornu is Robert Ridgway, who's having a decent race for once.
Yeah, Robert from his Ridgway Racing Aliens, now the team name, is sitting in 9th place. Yunus Amal has got Simon Fessy in behind him. Then behind that is Oscar Artinano, the back marker. So Oscar's there, but Simon Fessy going once more. Is he going to be able to get this done? Going down into turn 1, it doesn't look like he is at this moment. It's more of a follow my leader situation here than anything really developing. You can see the gap is fairly spread out across the field at the moment, and they're just these front end battles, and they're sort of a little bit back with Pulsifer, who is in the fight. Adam Townsman maybe at the same time. But currently at the moment on that run through down into turn 7, down into Shevlak, it is Lee Aberdeen leading the way by about 9/10 over Brent Ruiz. Ludovic Rancon sitting in 3rd, holding on to 3rd in the championship.
Well, there's another back marker that Aberdeen will be heading through in a moment. Hopefully it won't get in the way too much. We're on lap 10 now as the race is progressing. For those who are new to this championship, it's essentially a sprint to the fight. There's no mandatory pit stops involved. So Aberdeen will be happy to see that he's got a good lead for the time being. You can just see that back marker, not the best way to get out of the way. That was almost stationary. He was getting out of the way there, but at least the fielder got through anyhow. But yeah, the race is progressing now. The clouds seem to be hanging over the circuit a little bit more, James. Do you have an update as far as the weather's concerned?
It's going to be dry, apparently, 23 degrees centigrade, no rain at this moment in time. So no rain predicted here at this moment in time. And as far as we're going to presume, it will be dry, dry, dry. Andy Flint pulling out the draft of Rancon. And Amal and Fessy in behind that. Denny Cornu is over Casola. That is a back marker in behind that. Still, I think it's still Oscar Artinano. It is Oscar Artinano still in the background. He's now just put himself in between him and Robert Ridgway. Not an ideal move, but manages to clear it out at the turn the next time round as quickly as possible. So still to play for here, Yunus Amal and also Simon Fessy, but they're just not closing in at the moment. But then again, Casola and Denny Cornu also not closing.
You can see Cornu all over the rear of Casola through 8, and this is a chance for him to maybe send one up the inside a little bit into 9, but not quite there just yet. It depends on the outside that he may try and get a little bit more speed on the exit, unless he's just waiting for the pit straight to come around. But like I say, there's just not many overtaking spots to get it done at. You know, it's going to keep on hold of track position that is going to decide how this race ends up. Aberdeen over a second clear. There's like separate battles going on in the field now. We've got a 4-way battle for 3rd place between Ransom, Flynn, Amel and Fessy. Quite a lot of gravel being kicked up there. But, you can just see the battle between Cazorla and Cornu as the field ends to the 11th lap, or 12th lap as it is now. This is the 4-car battle for the final podium position. Ranson, Flynn, Amal and Fessy. Still no change at the present moment.
Yeah, Flint at the moment is not really going to make inroads in the championship whatsoever. It is Fessy over, will jump Jimenez. Rancon will jump Varani. Fessy will jump Varani as well. So it will be, as it said, Aberdeen, Ruiz, Rancon will be the top 1, 2, 3 if they stay as they are. To be honest, Ranson's got a drop.
Oh, he's gone. He's off.
A couple of places. So that may have just mixed it all up.
Oh dear.
Bro!
Shocking. Absolutely shocking from Ranson there. I don't know what on earth he was doing there as he was rejoining when there was cars coming through. But yeah, he's totally inflicted his race, and I think it was Cazorla that ran into him. But what on earth was Ranson doing?
Oh.
No, that's just not very good driving standards, I'm afraid, from Ranson.
Well, however, that could be his third place gone out the window, because at the moment he needed to stay ahead of Simon Fessy, and he isn't going to do that. He was only 2 points ahead of Fessy, but there is a massive gap between them now. I can tell you that. Ranson's in pit lane, so at the moment Fessy's jumped back up into that third possible spot on the podium to Aberdeen, Ruiz and Fessy will be the 1, 2, 3. Of course, unless Fessy has a drama, and then I suppose, where's Jimenez? Oh, he's right away down there. There's a possibility Jimenez may still hold on to it. Depends if Fessy can get to the end here.
Well, I think Jimenez is still going in the race, albeit he's a long way behind. I think he's a lap down anyway, is Jimenez, because you can just see he's down in 27th place. He would still get some points, I believe, for finishing that position.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, he will. But he's basically, it's not going to make inroads on the people in and around him. The people in and around him are going to score more. Him and Fessy were drawing coming into this. They were on 3-3-6. Ransom was on 3-3-8 with Rani on 3-4-1. So for Antonio Jimenez, he isn't going to score enough to jump Fessy. Fessy is at the moment in that prime position to take third place in the championship. The only way that will happen is if Fessy has a major drama and drops behind Jimenez, and then Jimenez will still hold on. But at the moment, unless Ranson has some major issue, Fessy has a major issue, he's the one taking third place.
There was a battle going on between Cazorla, Cornu and Ridgeway whilst you were discussing that. I thought Cornu was going to get through on Cazorla because Cazorla had run wide on the exit of turn 10. And so Cornu is not quite there. Personal best up of the race from Simon Fessy. He's clearly getting the hammer down as we speak. Robert Ridgeway with his personal best up. You can just see a car coming out of the pit lane there. I don't know who it is that's just peeking out there.
Is that Ranson, yeah.
Yeah, it's Ranson that's just come back out. So he is back in the race now, albeit a lap or 2 behind, but we'll stay with this battle of course, Cazorla, Cornu and Ridgeway, because this could have a say on essentially how third place in the championship could be decided.
Yep, and it really just goes with the fact that they need to stay as they are. That's the thing. They need to stay as they are, because for Fessy, he needs that win. If he doesn't get that win, well, he is going to be in, or stays where, if he doesn't finish the race, I should say, he will be not in that third place. But at the moment, he's sat in that third place quite happily and is going to take it in the championship. So we'll see what happens. It's 43 for first, and then each subsequent position gets 1 less point. Drivers must complete 90% of the race distance to score points. And of course, they've got 2 drop weeks. So it's 43 for the win and then downwards from there. So at the moment, Fessy is on 43, 42, 41, 39, 38 points there.
Ranson back in the pits again. Clearly not happy with the machine he is driving in. Amal had a sniff at Flint through turn 12, but couldn't quite make the move stick there. He has backed off a little bit there, so he'll probably just preserve the tyres for the time being. Cornu still all over the back of Cazorla, who takes more curb than he would have desired. As they all make their way through turns 4, 5 and 6. No real dramas happening further back. This is the closest battle we've got on circuit, unless you want to be looking at the battle for third place. We've got a 3-car battle for third place and a 3-car battle for sixth.
Yeah, this is where the actions are here. Jonathan Cazorla at the moment, that is basically what Cazorla is looking at. It is the front end of that Unity Racing with Denny Cornu. Still not being able to hold it here as well. Are they going to be able to make it through the next right-hander? It's going to be a very tight right-hander, mind you. In through turn 11, through 12, through they go. Off that run into 13 and 14. But that at the moment is what Cazorla is seeing. And it is a big old Unity Racing with a red roll bar on there at the same time.
We're beginning to see the leaders doing high 23s instead of the 24s that some are doing. Aberdeen and Maurice with not their best laps of the race, but up there in terms of some of the best they've done throughout the race so far. But this is the battle we're looking at. Cazorla leaves the door open for... Who is that coming through?
It's Cornu, yeah.
For sixth position there. So that was rather generous actually from Cazorla. I don't know whether he was thinking to himself, I'm going to lose more time by holding these drivers up or battling with them, so I thought they may as well let Cornu go through.
He got scared into that. He got scared into that due to the fact that he wasn't sure where he was coming. He wasn't sure if he was going to send it in the brakes late. He wasn't sure what the situation was, so he did neither. So unfortunately they're a bit tough. Eunice Amal has passed Andy Flint as well. We can have a look back at that overtake. And that is purely on the same corner. Flint getting caught on the marbles, no grip out on the marbles, and he can't get the power down soon enough, and Amal does go through. So there we go. That's the situation going into the last, what we've got, 17 laps to go of Zandvoort here. 33 lap race, and it's sort of getting a little bit more spread out.
Yeah, I should think so as well. Tony Jimenez is running way down the field still as we speak. He's running in 26th position behind Nguyen, who's not having the best race either. That's probably as high up as Jimenez will end up being, bar any more mistakes from others. You just see here's a lap down on Jimenez, so let's just try and get the maximum he can get from where he is at. But as far as Aberdeen is concerned, his race, bar that incident he had with Tony Jimenez, is looking good for another win, albeit on the road at least.
Absolutely. Jimenez has just got to try and score as much as he can, and that's it, basically. You know, there's no other options. He's got to see if Fessy will make a mistake. He's already seen one championship rival in Rancon make a mistake and is now in behind him. In fact, Ranson's behind him on the road by 25 seconds. So Ranson is behind him on the road, but at the moment your top three is going to be Lee Aberdeen, Brent Ruiz and Simon Fessy will be the top three in the championship, because at the moment there's not enough points gap between them to really warrant the positions changing.
Fessy all over the rear with Flynn. It'll be a matter of time before he actually sends one up the inside into Tarzan, which is what he'll look to do. Does he get the best of exits coming out of the penultimate turn? It seems okay. If he could just remain in the slipstream, he should be able to send one up the inside and force Flynn out onto the marbles at turn number 1, unless Flynn decides to go early and defend the line, which he doesn't do. Fessy up the inside. Flint has probably recognised the fact that there are marbles there. Had he gone defensive, he would have ended up riding over them, and so he decides to let Fessy go this time around.
Yeah, but it was probably less marbles on the inside than when he did on the outside. You're not going to get through on the inside line there, Andy. I'm sorry, sir. That inside line, since that new bank, and you know, since we've seen the update ages ago, what seems ages ago, that inside line does not work. I've seen multiple series with multiple cars try the same thing, and it doesn't work. That inside line, you need to be running that high banking line to be able to stay there. Robert Ridgway is mixed in with Cazorla now, back again after the Oscar Artignano back marker was there. Ridgway is closed back on. For Andy Flint, though, I do believe the marbles on the inside of turn 1 probably would have been a bit better than the marbles where he went on the outside, because that's how he lost the position the first time to Yunus Amal being on the marbles on the outside.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. But we're looking at Robert Ridgway, who is all over the rear of Jonathan Cazorla, who is going through. He lost that place to Corner not too long ago. Won't be too long before Ridgway sends him further down the order, providing he gets it right through turns 13 and 14. You just see riding over the leftover gravel. Fast up of the race from Brent Maurice now. It's a 1:23. Just find the exact lap time there. It's gone away from me for a moment. But he has posted a new fast stop of the race now as he continues his pursuit of Lee Aberdeen. There's Ridgeway on the inside of Casola into Tarzan corner. They both leave each other's space, but is Ridgeway going to be alongside enough? He's not. He has to stop back in the, on the through turns 2 and 3. That's such a shame there because it looked like it was about to maybe go around the outside of turns 2 and 3. But Casola had other ideas and keeps hold of P7.
He does. That gap up front is coming down at a rapid rate of knots here. It doesn't really matter too much. Aberdeen has wrapped it up unless he goes out. If he goes out and makes a mistake and ends up in a wall, then that's going to give us a different prospect altogether. But at the moment here, for Brent Ruiz, he is chasing down Aberdeen. And he's got the gap down below half a second after it being out at about a second. Be interesting to see what the lap time history between the two is. You can see Aberdeen slower on 16, slower on 17, and slower on 18. Ruiz with fastest lap of the race, 1:23.748. Yeah, on the last lap around, it doesn't look like he's quite going to be able to do that. No draft, 7.4, 7.3, 2, 1. It is coming down slowly, but at the moment, Aberdeen a little bit quicker, 10th quicker over lap 19.
It feels like Aberdeen's running a setup with more straight line speed because we saw how close Ruiz was going through the penultimate turn, but it feels like Aberdeen has set that car up to have the extra straight line speed, whereas through the corners it feels like Ruiz seems to have the setup for that particular characteristic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so basically we've got a sort of a downforce setting on Ruiz, which allows him corner control, and we've got a high-speed lower wing on Aberdeen, which will allow him for top end, which, to be honest, apart from the start-finish straight, is not really going to need a whole group of top end to be able to get away from Ruiz here. He kind of, if Ruiz is pulling him in the corners there, Tom, it really needed to be a little bit more of a balance setup from Aberdeen.
Well, Ruiz has to be within a couple of tenths coming out of the penultimate turn, otherwise he's just never going to get the job done into Tarzan, because that's going to be the #1 designated overtaken spot, and Lee Aberdeen knows that too well, hence why he set that car up to how he has set it out to be, and it's paying off for him so far. So it's 4 tenths at the beginning of the penultimate turn. Ruiz is still within the slipstream here. He might be close enough, but just maybe watch how Aberdeen's gap pulls away a little bit. It's not reducing down enough for Ruiz to think about an overtake there. He was closer that time around, and a new fastest up of the race at 1:23.6, 2 tenths faster than what Lee Aberdeen did on that same tour, and he might be within play to try and get an overtake completed in the near future.
Yeah, Unisam is fighting it out now. He's got Fessy tucked in right behind. Flint's dropped off just a little bit. The Ridgeway Cazorla battles drop back. We've got Stu Milne. He's having a go with Ben Goyette here. You've got to be within 2.5 tenths by the looks of it, because that's where Stu Milne is. That's where he was going out of corner, and that's where he's going to try the overtake. Is he going to try around that outside line? There is marbles out there, sir. You've hit them already. And unfortunately for Stu Milne, he's got to look at trying to get it out the inside. It's going to be on the inside for the left-hander. Go high, sitting behind him. You're going to lose time. You're going to lose time. You did lose time as he goes round that inside. That inside middle line doesn't work there. They've got to drop in and just suck up the pace, unfortunately, and go round the outside or follow everybody else. Oh, Yamal's made a mistake. Fessy's going to go through. Is Flint going to go through as well? Yeah. Just.
Yeah, he was always going to get through there. Amal just loses momentum by dipping a wheel into the gravel, as has lost 2 places as a consequence. Fessy and Flint make their way through. That was a poor error there by Amal. It's unlike we see this from Amal, because usually he's very consistent when it comes to keeping his car on the circuit. We're going to see an incident involving Richard Van Veen, hence why he was in the pits not too long ago up the inside.
Bro.
And yeah, that was a really poor attempt of an overtake there, and imagine he'll probably get penalised for that after, because that was an avoidable collision.
Yeah, I think that's why I've seen a sorry appear in the community chat. He was... Oh, no, he wasn't alongside. He came through too far. Sean Pulsford just says, thanks very much. I'm off. Cheers, boys, for taking each other out. See you later. And Sean goes and carries on with his race, albeit down in 21st, but he is up 11 spots. So a great job from Sean. there once more. Gap up front still closing. Aberdeen now is bearing the sight of Brent Ruiz, tucked in right behind him. There is Ruiz. Looking back from Aberdeen's car, he's got to be within 2.5 attempts here, I think, Tom, because otherwise I don't think he's going to have that draft and that pace to get past him into turn 1.
Well, this is the closest we've seen from him for the last few laps, so he might be able to get into the slipstream and be within range to attack, but he's just too far back. As Aberdeen applies the throttle on the exit, he just knows he's going to have the advantage and the momentum all the way down the straight, but now he's having to go defensive a little bit because Rees was moving left and then right, unless it's the other way around, if I've got my left and rights all wrong all of the moment. But Aberdeen is able to just hold on for the time being. Rees not too far behind. He's getting there, Rees. He just needs a little bit more. He needs to be even closer, right at the gearbox, almost like a magnet making contact with another magnet. Just be dragged along that pit straight and complete an overtake, probably on the inside ideally. But the trouble is, as we've mentioned earlier, is the marbles on the outside. If he could just stay alongside through turns 2 and 3 and get on the outside, that's when the overtake is going to be done.
Yep. Absolutely, but he's got to stay close. We've got a couple of battles materialising. Eddie Amos with Alexis de Klerk. And for Eddie, in that beautiful liveried machine, he's got to try. But unfortunately, he has just lost that place to de Klerk. De Klerk has just gone past him. So unfortunately for Amos, he's now going to be trying to catch up. Cornu, Ridgway, finally passed Jonathan Cazorla, and Chris Vales is round the other way. Ridgway scared Cazorla again in turn 1. Got the job done for Robert Ridgway. Great job from him. Chris Vales, I think, just, bro, you're out of marbles all day. And then, unfortunately, it looks like he's going to apply the throttle a little bit too early. And there you go, around he goes for Chris Vales. But, yeah, battle's now starting to settle down a little bit. However, the front one starting to pay off and get back together.
Yeah, Ridgway went defensive on the exit, the last turn there, as he was fending off Zola going over the line. But it seems like he's kept hold of the place for the time being. The battle for the lead is raging on more. They're coming towards back markers again here, James. They're coming up behind the driver, who I think is 22nd in the order. I'm just looking through the timing pages as we speak. But they are coming towards many of them now. We've got another car in the pits. Finazzi has also been in trouble by the looks of it. He was running towards where Ben Goyette was in 14th, but now he's had to come into the pits with some kind of problem. We don't know what that is yet. You can see Aberdeen holding on for the time being, building up that margin on the straights over Brent Ruiz. Simon Fessy is over 6 seconds back from this battle, but you never know. If these two come together, Simon Fessy will be able to read the benefits here and take an unlikely victory.
Yeah. Find out if Aberdeen and Ruiz does. I'm hoping they don't, mind you. They're 1 and 2 in the championship. Andy Flint has just cleared Eunice Amal. Andy Flint has gone past Amal there. I wonder if there was a mistake from Amal. There was. It's exactly the same place he lost it to Simon Fessy. Yeah, exactly the same.
Exactly the same thing. He didn't quite go wide as he did last time, but he's probably picked up leftover gravel on the racing line that's put the car offline on that banking, and so he's lost 4th place again to Andy Flint. There has Eunice Amel. There's another car coming out of the pits. There was a Williams. Is that Finassi who's just come out of the pits? So I think it may well have been in that old Williams retro livery, but they carry on as they are. Aberdeen still half a second clear over Rees.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just looks like he's just not able. Oh, Aberdeen's round!
Was there contact, or did he lose it on the curb? He might have caught the curb on the inside of turn 8, James. We'll get a replay of it.
Oh, Lee, settle.
His tyres will have overheated, James, from that spin, so he just needs to tread carefully through the next few corners. He's got caught up behind the back marker.
And then he's hit the curb.
Yeah, he got caught out by the back marker, put off by it, and caught the curb on the inside.
Yep. And Lee Aberdeen now 4th place. Ruiz in 1st, 43 for the win, and down in 1. It still isn't going to matter. Lee Aberdeen will still be the championship champion. Simon Fessy will still be in third, and Brent Ruiz, although winning this race, will still be in second. It's not going to make a massive difference. Aberdeen now just got to keep the car going forward.
Yep, and he's just got to try and fight back really now, but he's got to fend off Yunus Alma for the time being if he is going to get a positive result out of this. But Brent Ruiz, second in the championship, has a golden opportunity now to win this race. His second win in the last 3. He won at Imola a couple of rounds ago, and he's set to take victory here in Zandvoort in the season finale. Simon Fessi on course for another podium to his name. He already won earlier in the season in Montreal. He's been on the podium twice. Got a third place finish in race 4 in Phillip Island, and he's on course for his third podium finish of the season. But can Aberdeen fight back from that costly error?
Well, as I said, for him it doesn't really matter. He's got to just basically complete the race. He doesn't complete, he's going to lose it more than he will if he does complete it. So we're going to find out from Lee Aberdeen if he will. He's got to get to the end. Got to get to the end of this.
Wait and see. Ruiz's lead is over 5 seconds, so he can afford to take it easy from here on in. He did very well, actually, James, to avoid getting caught up in Aberdeen's mess. Otherwise, we would have been on course for a thrilling end to the race. Just 7 to go. We're still seeing personal bests being posted by Simon Fessi and Andy Flint. Aberdeen over a second behind still as he closes in on Flint. But yeah, it's been that sort of race so far. Mistakes happening everywhere around the field. Tony Jimenez is running in 22nd position. He's run about 7 seconds off Benazzi, who's just had to come into the pits. But he's probably in a higher position than we all thought he would be, given after that mistake he had earlier, which saw him go back into the pits.
Yeah, Postfer gets out of the way there. Aberdeen now sitting in 4th place. Amal closing in behind. This is the closest battle on the racetrack. We've only got 6 laps to go. So Aberdeen 6 laps away from winning this championship. So that's going to be the situation. Aberdeen will be champion at the end of it.
Over down the field, got Baylor, who's running in 9th position, ahead of Tatski, Emery Tatski. And it's Bahedin Ayan in 11th place, who had that spin earlier, as far as I can remember. And it's Alexis de Klerk, who you remember had to come into the pits with some form of problem. We thought it was a slowdown that he had that mistake at turn number 7, but it seems to be more than just that. But I will mention, James, is Eddie Amos, who's in a higher position than we're normally seen from him, in 13th place.
Yep. Amos moving up 8 places at the moment.
He's in a battle with Ben Goyette by the looks of it there. Ben Goyette, who's just right behind, or unless that's a bat marker, who's just behind Eddie Amos. But this has been a sterling drive from him, nevertheless.
Yep, it is at the moment. He's doing a great job. Aberdeen with Amal side by side. Lee. Free sheep, let they go into turn 8. Aberdeen manages to hold on.
He's going for it. Amal up the inside into turn 9. Does he do it there? Oh, and Aberdeen just about holds on there. But he left the door open for Amal to just sneak through.
Yeah. Absolutely. For Yunus Amal. Stuck his nose up there, though. Just couldn't quite get there with Lee Aberdeen.
He has to surprise him, James, if he wants to get the overtake done. We know how fast Aberdeen is in a straight line, but Amal's going to have to catch him out by surprise.
Yeah. It's hard, though, because you are trying to have a go at a champion.
On wide, though. Amal carried too much speed into the penultimate turn there, but Aberdeen's getting held up by that bat marker, which won't help.
Andy Flint is position.
He's sure? I don't think it is. I think.
Oh, you're right. It is a back marker. Sorry. Who is that behind there then? That's in the Hydroforce car. Adam Townsmer. Sorry, my mistake. You were right. There is a back marker.
Yeah, so they carry on as they are. Aberdeen remaining in 4th place ahead of Yunus Amal there. It looks like Denny Cornu nearly ran into that back marker there through turn 2. I think he got away with it, but it was very, very close. But so far for Brent Ruiz, he's done nothing wrong in this race. It's been one of his best drives, and he's on course to take a deserved win, it has to be said. He's been solid from the beginning, starting from third place, staying in touch with Tony Jimenez and Lee Aberdeen at the beginning of the race, and he's got his rewards for it. Now he just needs to make no more mistakes from here until the check of Aberdeen running wide again through turn number 9, and Amal has got to make the most of it here. If he could just get a strong enough drive out of turn 10, he might have just sneak one up the inside into 11, but he hasn't got the best exit he needed to have done to just be within attacking range.
Yeah. Aberdeen nice and smooth through turn 12, coming into 13 now. Here we go. Through he goes. Out the other side is Amal within 2.5 attempts. No, they're going to be as they are going down into turn 1.
Come away from this battle for the time being. There is another battle going on involving Robert Widgway and Johnny Cazorla in 7th and 8th places. As they head over the line, or you could just see Amal going way too deep, and so got on the marbles, and that's lost in position to Denny Cornu.
Yeah, he has. And Denny Cornu now ahead of Amal. Amal's doing more chasing as well. A little bit round contact. Another crash, unfortunately for him. He's down the order. Baird Ayan is chasing down Eddie Amos at the moment. So Amos might have to go on the defensive. Blimey, Ayan's closed him well quick over Amos, and it looks like he's going to get the job done down into turn 1.
I wonder if Ayan has had a spin or a moment somewhere, James, because he was ahead of Eddie Amos the last time we were speaking about Eddie Amos, because he was behind Ayan anyway. So I wonder if Ayan has been involved in some form of incident that's seen him drop so far back. And he dropped down the order again as Eddie Amos, but he's struggling to even keep Ben Goyette behind. Stu Moon will be involved in the tussle sooner rather than later. But Ayan is back into 12th position now, behind de Klerk. And back at the front, Rees is still 7 seconds clear, albeit with just over 3 laps left.
Yeah. Still out in front, Brent Ruiz by 7.1 seconds. Simon Fessy second. He's got 2.4 over Flint. Aberdeen still got Denny Cornu in there. And Yunus Amal tucked in right behind Cazorla, chasing down Ridgway. These guys have been kind of velcroed together for the whole entire race.
Yep. It goes back to saying about being stuck together like magnets all the way through. It's been that sort of race, hasn't it? But you can just see fighting over P7 there are Ridgway and Cazorla. Ridgway through at last on Cazorla. I think the move was coming all along, and he's finally got through at last as Ridgway. So he's on course for a really good result from 14th on the grid to get up to P7. Cazorla down 1 position from his starting place. Loris Baylor, who we've not spoken about really in this race that much, he's running in a solid 9th position. Hats off to him.
Mm-hmm. Loris Baylor there just sitting in there 14 seconds back. He's all kind of settled down a little bit in and around these packs. They're starting to get to about a second out. Brent Ruiz, however, dominating so far, and is about 7.4 seconds away. So 7.4 seconds up the road. He's coming on to start lap 32.
Yep, and he's got no one to worry about. There is a bet marker ahead of him. That'll be Austin Baldwin, who is ahead by a few seconds on the road, but he won't need to think about him. He just needs to bring the car home, and it'll be another victory going in the way of Brent Ruiz. His second win in 3 races and cementing second place in the Drivers' Championship. There is still potentially an investigation involving Lee Aberdeen for the contact with Tony Jimenez at turn number 7.
I don't think it's going to make a difference this late on, to be honest with you, Tom. I don't. It's not going to stop Aberdeen winning the championship. So for me, I don't think it's going to play a part in the decisions here. I think some people just, are going to not worry. As I say, I do believe there was a big old dose of netcode in the middle of it, but I don't think it's going to really worry too much towards this end, of the late stage of the championship.
Very well. Well, Brent Ruiz is on his way to his second win of the season. He'll be looking ahead to next season with his head high after what's been a rather consistent campaign, has to be, for Brent Ruiz, as well as picking up a race win. He has picked up a further 4 podiums. He's got every reason to have a smile on his face as he's about to enter the last tour.
Yeah. Final lap of the race for Brent Ruiz. He's going to wrap up second in the championship. On lap 32, there's Barney waving. Brent Ruiz will take the white flag. And now in about a minute and 23 here, he's going to wrap up second.
Absolutely. He could have a coffee break whilst he's doing this last lap if he wanted to, because he's that far out over Simon Fessy. There's no real battles happening now. We've seen a personal best lap of the race from Denny Cornu on that penultimate lap. Ridgway and Casala are the closest in terms of cars to each other. That won't make any form of difference. Tony Minez is running in 20th position. He's posted his personal best lap of the race. He's behind Benazzi for position, but he is going to run out of time to make anything out of that one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be as they are. Ruiz will come over the line. He's going to take the victory. Simon Fessy will grab second. He'll be third in the championship. With Lee Aberdeen will be the winner of the championship and come over the line in fourth place. So everything Aberdeen needed to do, he did. Jakob Oleszwinski's in YouTube chat. Hi guys, due to work, couldn't join today. Glad the season is over. It's been an awful one. Well, yeah, for some, I agree. Jakob has been a bit of a tough one. But all in all, at this moment in time, Brent Ruiz around the penultimate corner. Round the final corner he goes. And he's going to be over the line. Checkered flag are waving. Barney's are waving. Brent Ruiz, final, is your winner of the final race of the season. Wraps up second in the championship. Simon Fessy comes home, wraps up third with Andy Flint in fourth. But it is Lee Aberdeen who takes the win in the championship for the first season and does take the win as well. So a great win from Lee Aberdeen at the championship. But it was looking comfortable for him, and coming into this last race, he just had to make sure he got to the end.
Absolutely. So, Lee Aberdeen, 5 times a race winner this season, 3 second places and a third. In terms of podiums, that's 9 podiums he has wrapped up this season. A very, very good campaign by his standards. He did have Jesper Sandström on his tail at the beginning of the season before Sandström, unfortunately, he dropped away. But take nothing away from Lee Aberdeen over the course of the season. He has been magnificent. Yeah.
Absolutely stellar. He's been rock solid all the way through as Lee Aberdeen. Absolutely mighty job. Rancon is still running. He's tucked up behind Pulsifer. They go over the line as well. But yeah, for Lee Aberdeen, it's an absolutely amazing job. There is the end of season donuts that we traditionally see here from the IGP when they can all get it sorted out and they're not crashing into each other at the end of turn 1. So donuts are plenty. Fortunately, there's a few that might need practice in doing some donuts there, I think. Robert Ridgway's just sat down there. Lots of Tasky in his Ferrari livery doing them. Amos has got no front end. He's going round and round. Dirt and dust everywhere. Imagine all this over the racetrack at the beginning.
Imagine so. That would have made it for an interesting race, wouldn't it? See who would be the survival of the fittest. As the old saying goes. But yeah, all the drivers are over the line now. They've all taken the checkered flag for the last time this season. James, it's time to run down on the final class.
Yeah, here we go. Brent Ruiz is your winner and wraps up second in the championship. Simon Fessy finished second and wraps up third in the championship. Andy Flint finishes in third. A great race from him. Then Lee Aberdeen comes over the line in fourth, takes the championship as well. Does a great job and wraps up the championship. Great win from Lee Aberdeen. Denny Cornu in fifth. Then Eunice Amal, Robert Ridgway, Jonathan Cazorla, Lois Berla, Mehmet Tasky, Alexis de Klerk, Bairden Ayan, Eddie Amos, Ben Goyet and Stu Milne round out the top 15. Moving on from that, Matthew Gracie, Pat Rowlands, Austin Baldwin, Stefano Fanazzi, Tony Jimenez down in 20th in the end, and Ngayan, Sean Pulsifer, Ludovic Rancon, Robert Joe and Chris Vales. And then behind that, we've got Adam Townsville, Latoro Marini, Richard Van Veen, a long way back, Oscar Artinano, Nick Carty, Patrick Williams, Stefan Dodderer. There was also Flugie, Oruro and Williams, Clark Williams, who did not get classified. Are they still going with donuts or are we all done now? Oh, no, Stu Milne is still going. So great action here again. Another season wrapped up, Tom. And, well, it was an exciting one.
Absolutely. Loved every second of it. And look forward to it for the second campaign of 2025, which shouldn't be too far away.
Yeah, absolutely. We do kick off in 2 weeks' time. Don't forget, they got the Race for Vimala charity event next weekend. So if you want to come along and get yourself involved, I believe there's still room. I think there's still room. Get yourself in the Discord and reach out to Luca Varani, who will be able to tell you more. But that's all I can give you now for this evening, guys. That's going to wrap this one up. And it's been a great season, but the season has come to an end. Join us in 2 weeks' time when we do it all again. I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Tom Cairns. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the chat next season. Good night.